My relationship with my father carried a lot of emotional baggage, and it was all negative. We did have a difficult relationship, but also he was a good man, and there were many positive aspects to the relationship, but for some reason I was focused on the negative. And I think just over the years, unforgiveness is a very detrimental thing to carry around. In October of 1978, I experienced a tremendous decline in health. I went through 6 months of evaluation and treatment and pills and that sort of thing, and it didn't get any better. And so finally I was sent to a regional teaching hospital. They told me that I had a disease called hairy cell leukemia, that it was terminal, and the essence of it was that the white cells were unable to get out of the bone marrow, so there was nothing in the blood to fight infection. The medical community in their diagnosis indicated that I may only have 2 months to live. It was shocking, to say the least, because I was a very healthy person at that point, prior to the onset of the illness. And of course it was not in any way in accord with my plan for my life. But when I was diagnosed with cancer, and then the medical community said there's nothing we can do for you, then I realized that I was going to have to get in touch with God. My prayer life before was pretty much non-existent. You know, I didn't pray very much, didn't understand very much, wasn't sure God was real, and so forth. But when I was diagnosed with cancer, you know, I prayed with my life on the line. I would wake up during the night and pray for hours and cry, and, you know, I mean, it was real. This was not an experimental if and but kind of thing. You know, my life was in the balance.
Reid was in what appeared to be a hopeless situation. He had done everything that he could possibly do. Doctors didn't have any more answers. And he only could trust Christ in that moment. I'm sure he had to ask himself, do I believe in the miraculous power of God to heal and transform? We all have to ask ourselves those questions when we get into moments of darkness and trial.
Some of my friends said that a psychologist could indeed be of good service to me. And so I decided to try it. And when he heard about the problems that I had had with my father as a child, he was very concerned. And so he instructed me to go home and do an empty chair procedure. And so as I carried the instructions out given to me by the psychologist, for the first time in my life, I realized my father really did love me. I had never understood that before. And I began to cry, and I must have cried for a couple of hours. God gave me a perfectly good father. I misunderstood his love, and now I had wasted my entire life's relationship with my father. Why did it have to be this way? Well, I was saying that over and over when this miraculous experience with Jesus Christ came to pass. I guess you could say it was a vision, a dream. I'm not sure what words to use to describe it, but I do know what Jesus said to me at that time. He said, number one, that it did not have to be this way. This is the path that you have chosen. And the tears you're shedding now are the tears I shed for you while you were on the wrong path. I absolutely knew that it was Jesus, it was true, and that he was responding to the prayers that I had been saying. And he then said to me that this is not the only relationship that you have misunderstood. I have heard your prayer for health, and it will be answered in due course. On September 23rd, 1981, I had the encounter with Jesus Christ, and he told me that I was healed. I immediately began to feel better. My doctor called me in January of 1982, and he said, Mr. Henson, I don't know what you've been doing, but I wish you'd tell me. Your blood is better than mine. You have no trace of cancer anywhere in your body. Well, some people don't believe in miracles, and I can certainly understand that. I didn't believe in them myself until I experienced one, but having experienced one, there's no doubt in my mind that it was a miracle. I think I can talk with cancer patients better than the average bear. Well, I think they see me as an example of what can happen. I enjoy praying for people, and I think that they know that I'm sincere. I'm not kidding. You know, so I really do enjoy praying for them. I don't know whether it always works or not. Sometimes we get what we ask for, sometimes we don't, but I think God's always right. If you're looking for a miracle, I recommend that you look in the Bible, find the scriptures that testify to that, and then you begin to pray and ask God to give you what you need, and expect to receive what is best for you and for the others that are involved in the equation. He will respond based on what's best for the kingdom, and you're part of the kingdom, so ask Him. It's free. Expect good results.
It doesn't happen every time, but there are times when we faithfully follow Jesus Christ that He steps in and reveals something about His nature and character by what He does in our lives. For Reid, He stepped in and He gave life. And I believe that we all should be encouraged by that, in the knowledge that God is at work to restore and reveal the power of who He is.